Welcome back to Taproot TV. We hope you guys are having a great week and had a great Thanksgiving last week.
Yeah.
We all did here. We're still recovering, so
exactly. Yeah,
it was always
it was a good Thanksgiving.
the case. Yeah,
I
it
ate
was
way too
great.
much.
I'm Michelle Wishon. I'm here with Ken Reed today.
Hey.
And today is going to be great for a lot of you guys. We're going to discuss some of the top questions that students have during courses, and we chose 4 or 5 questions here that come up quite a bit, and these came from a 5-day course that Ken taught last month.
It was
in New Orleans,
just a couple of weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago in New Orleans. Yep.
Yeah. So these are really fresh questions. So that'll be good. So we're going to go over those really quick with you, and we're going to start with a question that came from Ali in Egypt. Ali's asked, how do you set up an investigation team?
Yeah, so we get that question quite a bit, and in our course, we always kind of hold them off to the end because we want to talk about how Taproot works and then talk about how to set your teams up. And it's a great question because people learn the Taproot process and then try to figure out, now how do I actually do it when I get back to the office?
Sure. Yeah.
So the investigation teams, there's different things that you can do. First, we recommend it's a relatively small team. You don't want 20-person teams normally.
Right.
It just becomes unwieldy.
Yes.
Those teams, you'll have usually one person kind of running the whole thing, and then you can have as many people as you want kind of gathering data and interviewing people and things like that. Probably the most important part to that is when you get to the root cause analysis, it has a root cause tree out in the dictionary. You don't want 5, 10, 15 people doing that. Right. It just becomes confusing when that many people. So 1, 2, I think 2 people together on the root cause tree is my favorite. Me and one other person kind of running through the root cause tree.
Yeah.
And then maybe 3, but I'll tell you 4 is my max. Yeah. No more than about 4 people. It really becomes confusing when 4 people are trying to run through the tree in the dictionary. So to keep it simple, just a couple of people together running through the root cause tree, and that really works well.
Yeah, it's also a good idea, I would think, to have a smaller group so that everybody has something to do. I mean, you get 20 people, then there's going to be people sitting back and
that's right.
Not really.
That's a great point.
Digging into it.
And they don't communicate well with each other. There's too many people so you kind of lose track of what's happening.
Right.
So you're exactly right. Yeah. So those smaller groups they really work better. So try to keep them to a manageable level. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, our next question comes from Becca in Minnesota. And Becca asks how to be an instructor for her company.
Yeah. She's actually planning on being an instructor. That was her 5-day course as her prerequisite. That's right. So she and one of her colleagues are going to be instructors. And she was just making sure that she had a good handle on all the requirements. So to become an instructor at your company, the first thing that you have to do is make sure you're licensed, which gives you permission to use our stuff, right? Because it is copyrighted material and stuff. So.
And that's a company license, not a single user.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
License.
This isn't the subscription license or something like that. This is the company enterprise or training license. That's right. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Thanks. And then you go to that 5-day course to make sure you're an expert on Taproot. You want to make sure if you're going to be teaching it that you're an expert on it.
Absolutely.
And then we hope that you use it a little bit.
Yeah.
Go back and actually do some investigations and become proficient using the system.
Yeah.
And then we'll come in and do a train-the-trainer course for you. And that's a 3-day course. The first day, one of our instructors, our senior instructors, comes in and works with your instructors and just works kind of practice teaching back and forth. Yeah. And the next 2 days, then you and your instructor and us will be together teaching a 2-day Taproot course to a group of your employees. Yeah. And we just kind of give some hints and some guidance as a senior instructor there. But at the end of that 3-day session, you are then certified to teach Taproot at your company. Yeah. So,
and I really like the train the trainer is really great. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone kind of. You're getting your person certified and you're getting your group of at least 10 taught in the 2-day course.
That's exactly right.
So, I mean, I really like that concept.
Yeah, it works really well. Yeah, it does. And then to keep your certification, then you have to attend our Taproot Summit once every 2 years. Is how it works. All 5 days of the summit. That's right. It's a 5-day. We have a 2-day pre-summit and then 3 days of the summit. And to maintain your certification, you'll get all 5 of those days.
Right, and you can choose your schedule. You can for the 5 days. You can choose which sessions you attend. The only one that's required is the Taproot certification, recertification, Taproot instructor certification course. Yeah, and that is usually held on Wednesday or Thursday mornings. I'm not sure, but you can look at the schedule when you're signing up for that. That's the only one that you're really required to attend.
Right.
All sessions are great, though, so I can't tell you it'll be hard.
No.
It'll be hard to choose your schedule.
It will. There's some really good stuff this year. So we'll have some more Taproot TV sessions here. We're going to talk about the different pieces of the summit.
Yes.
So we'll have those coming up soon.
Yes. Okay. Our next question is from Kevin. Kevin asks, how to get more practice using Taproot?
Right. So when you get back to the company, you don't just want to, what we hope you don't do is go back after the course and then wait 6 months to use Taproot. You don't want to have something bad happen 6 months from now and you haven't used Taproot in that entire time. So you want to be proficient using it, and that doesn't mean taking hours of your time doing this every week or something. But once a month, we recommend you use something with Taproot. Go do an investigation. Maybe
use it at home.
Go use it at home. I've always told people don't use it for things like critiquing your spouse's cooking. I don't think that's great. I wouldn't use it for that, but other things are probably
good. Don't get in trouble.
Good.
Yeah, maybe your 3-year-old's coloring on the wall.
That might be a good one to do. That you might try. I would recommend not doing your spouse's cooking. It's not from personal experience, but I don't recommend that. So use it once a month, and maybe just go do an audit and run a significant issue through the root cause tree. So that's a good way. Some other thing that you can do that we've found to be really successful is several of our customers, once a month, they hold a webinar. And all the Taproot trained people get together once a month for 15 minutes or half an hour, and they discuss an incident or they talk about some issues that they've had or whatever. They just keep themselves up to date on using Taproot.
That's a good idea.
It really works well. Several of our major customers are doing that now. So it's a great ways to kind of keep yourself proficient using the system. So.
Yeah, I like that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, our next question comes from Travis. Travis says, how do I use optional data collection tools?
Yeah, so during the 5-day course, we teach a lot of we call our optional techniques day on Wednesday. We talk about a lot of the optional data collection tools. And I'm going to shift over to the software here and kind of show you where that would be. Let's see if I can pull my mouse over here. What that involves is once you're into the snap chart, I'm going to expand this out so it's a little easier to see. Over in the snap chart area here, you can see our optional techniques tab here. And when I click on that, it gives you the opportunity to open up some of our optional data collection tools. And Equifactor, for example, you would use if you had an equipment issue and you're trying to troubleshoot an equipment problem. Change analysis is a really good one. I use that all the time. I think it's a really powerful tool.
It is.
Safeguard analysis, whether I do it in the software or I just do it in my head, I use that all the time also. CHAP, Critical Human Action Profiles. It's a great way. It's kind of a task analysis format, and it's a really good way to dig really deep into really simple issues sometimes. I just can't figure out what was going on here, and it forces you to ask really good questions. So these tools are all built into the snap chart because that's where you collect your data and where it all goes. So that's where those tools are at, and we teach those in a lot of detail during different courses. The 5-day touches on those to some extent. Equifactor course goes really detailed into the Equifactor tool, for example.
Right. Yeah.
So some really good tools
those
there.
Those are good tools. Yeah.
And you won't use those every day, but for those specific times when they come up, they're really good tools to use. Okay.
All right, wonderful. And then just one other common question that comes up quite a bit is how to get management up to speed on Taproot, and that does come up a lot.
It does.
A lot.
Yeah. After you've been to your Taproot course, you go back ready to go, but management hasn't gone to a Taproot course. So you end up doing your Taproot investigation, and management has a lot of questions. And as they should, which they should be doing, asking a lot of questions. So how do we get them up to speed so that they're not slowing down the investigation, or and make sure that they understand what they're looking at when they're reviewing Taproot investigations? So there's several things that you can do to really help out with that. First of all, we always recommend you send your management to a course.
Absolutely.
And, I think that's just a great way. It doesn't have to be, I wouldn't send them to a 5-day course. That's too much. But either a 2-day course, you can send them to that. If you're holding an on-site 2-day course, sometimes you can have them just come to day 1 of the course. So they can just sit on day 1 and kind of understand how Taproot works. They wouldn't want to do a Taproot investigation, but they then get the idea of how it works.
Right.
We have dedicated management courses that we can teach. There's a 1-day management course that we can come in and teach just to your management team.
Yes.
And it gives them a basic overview of how Taproot works. They'll see all the tools. Plus we give them good guidance and hints on what to look for when they're reviewing investigations. So when they get a snap chart, what kinds of things should they see on a snap chart? And it gives them a good management overview of each of the different pieces of Taproot.
Right. Right. And you can find that on our website too, the 1-day management course.
Yep,
so if
sure
you're
is.
interested in that, it's a really good course.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies do set up 2-day on-site courses as well that includes only their management, but know that we do have the 1-day course as well. Managers are busy.
Yeah.
So.
I was just actually talking to one of my customers this morning, and they're planning on a 2-day course, and probably they're talking about adding an additional day on just for the managers. So while the instructor's there, just stay an extra day and concentrate on the management guys. So another great thing you can do, we got the summit. If your managers really want to get a good idea of how Taproot works and network with other managers and see how people are using Taproot outside of in other industries or even within their own industry, Summit's a great way to do that. It's a networking opportunity, and it's not so detailed sometimes as where you're getting into the nitty-gritty of exactly how Taproot works, but it gives you a more broad overview of the different pieces of Taproot and how to implement it.
Yeah,
so,
that is really a great opportunity for them to go to. Next one's in March.
I should have mentioned that also for how do I maintain practice and proficiency using Taproot. When I was talking about that, send your people to the summit is a great way to do that. So there's some great ideas. We get these kind of questions pretty much every course. We get these types of questions, some more detailed and some focused in different directions. But we figured instead of just having these questions at 30 people at a course, we ought to get it out to thousands of people that are watching our Taproot TV right now, right?
Absolutely.
Thousands of people that are out there watching.
We know you guys were thinking about these questions.
That's right.
Okay, well, I think that's all we've got for today.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a safe week, and we look forward to seeing you here again next week. Again, as always, you can follow us on any of the social media platforms and our website, www.taproot.com.
Excellent. Great. Awesome. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks.
We'll see you all later.
Bye.